Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Thank you fellow patriots for tuning in. On this episode, we're going to talk about how Biden is a crooked little bastard. I mean, we all know that by now, right? But does he have ties to Jeffrey Epstein? Does he want to hide something from you, the American people, about his ties to Jeffrey Epstein? We're going to get into that in this video here in just a minute. But first, got a minute and 17 seconds of the national anthem. Stay tuned, fellow patriots. We'll get right into it. Be right back. Hit it.
Is a 9 of protection.
So number 2 here. If y'all remember correctly, way back, Joe Biden went ahead and he went over to Ukraine when his crackhead son, Hunter, was involved with Burisma, the energy company in Ukraine. No energy experience whatsoever. The guy's a dunce. And he's over there, he can't even speak the language, nothing. So they make him a board member of Burisma, right? Now, all of a sudden, there's a district attorney, a prosecutor, we call him over there, that is investigating the Burisma company for criminal acts of corruption. Okay? Then Joe Biden goes over there and he's like, yeah, I went over there and I told him if they don't fire this DA, you're not getting $1 billion. And what do you know? Bada bing, bada boom. They didn't get the $1 billion until they fired this guy. And I'm so great. Yeah, great. I saved my son from another investigation. Did he do it again? Did he do it? If you don't remember that, here, let me bring that up. Go ahead. Clip C. D.
I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid at the time.
What do you know? 6 hours later, they fired the prosecutor. They got their $1 billion. Now my son's off the hook. Right? Guys, that was as corrupt could be. Okay? I think he just did it again. And this time, it has to do with Jeffrey Epstein's little black book and any other evidence that might have went away when he did not hang himself. All right? So, we all know Jeffrey Epstein didn't hang himself, okay? So, recently, over the past holiday session, your president went ahead and he took a trip down to the Virgin Islands, okay? United States Virgin Islands, not the British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Show that right there. All right, so there you go. A little capture of him. I'm surprised that stupid fucking potato didn't fall down the steps, but he went on vacation to the United States Virgin Islands. Why is that so important, you might ask? Well, there's a district attorney in the United States Virgin Islands, and what they were doing was they were investigating ties between J.P. Morgan Chase and Jeffrey Epstein and his little conglomerate of underage girl sex trafficking, the sick fuck. Well, these DAs, they were investigating the ties between J.P. Morgan Chase and Jeffrey Epstein, and they actually got somewhere. It's weird because then the DAs filed suit against J.P. Morgan Chase in the United States Virgin Islands in St. Croix, where Potato Head just visited. Okay? Now, here's the rub. Just like in Ukraine, Joe Biden probably went over there and said, now I said probably, okay, there's no 100% evidence, proof of it, because President Potato didn't stick his foot in his fucking mouth this time and actually admit it. Yet. Okay? However, oh, here. There you go. As you can see, DA is investigating the Epstein ties with J.P. Morgan Chase. Okay? That's great. Do it. We want to see some more shit about Epstein because, first of all, whatever happened to Ghislaine Maxwell? Where the hell is she? Yeah, they say she's in prison, but come on. Is she? Her father started the Mossad. I mean, I don't know. She's probably over in Israel sitting lovely and comfortably right now. You never hear anything about her. And why didn't she give anything up if she knows she's going to be sitting in prison for who knows how fucking long, right? This fucking moron Potato will probably pardon her anyway and let her out. But be that as it may, there's the DAs investigating the ties with J.P. Morgan Chase and Epstein. You saw before, you got Potato Head visiting the St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands, and then all of a sudden, this happens. Next cut. Oh my God. The DA gets fired. The DA investigating the ties between J.P. Morgan Chase and sick pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, poof, gets fired. Joe Biden was just there. He never goes there. He always goes to Delaware. 240 times in his first 2 years, he goes to Delaware. Because that's where he's comfortable, in his little basement in fucking Delaware. No offense to anybody in Delaware, unless you approve of this. I'm just saying, just seems like a huge coincidence that Joe Biden brags about Ukraine getting the DA fired because they're investigating the company that his son worked for, getting $83,500 a month. Then the DA gets fired over there. The prosecutor gets fired over there. Now all of a sudden there's a prosecutor in the Virgin Islands where he has actual control. You know, he doesn't have control, but it's a territory of the United States. And there's a group of investigators investigating ties between J.P. Morgan Chase, which is a huge Biden donator. I don't have that right now, but I can put that up later. Huge Biden contributor. And Jeffrey Epstein, that sick sexual predator fuck. And poof, DA gets fired. Why is that? Why is this guy always sticking his nose in to cover something up? You be the judge of that. Whether it's a coincidence or not, nobody knows. I personally don't believe in coincidences. I really don't. But I believe there's ties here, okay? Let me know what you think. Yeah, right? I mean, it's just sick how these people think they could do all this corruption and launder all this money and have sex with little girls or little boys. Okay, we all know about Joe. I don't know if he likes little boys touching his little blonde hair in the pool. But if you were doing it, if this was you, you'd have been in jail before you got back on the plane to leave the Virgin Islands. Okay, we all know that. That's just the way it goes. So again, YouTubers, please do me a favor. Like this video, hit the subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications. Let me know what you think about this little coincidence of going to the Virgin Islands and all of a sudden the prosecutors are fired. Let me know what you think about that. Read the articles. I'll put the links in the description because this Balenciaga story is going to hit next. Check for it on your notifications. Thank you, YouTube. Have a good night.